So medium is the ability to basically communicate between the living and the dead, as well as be able to sense and see and feel things.
This is the Abby Normal Podcast, here to tell you that you're weird and that's normal. What are we going to do at Dawn's house? What is our plan for this, confirming that there is or is not a ghost at Dawn's?
I feel there is somebody at Dawn's. I don't know if they are from the house or the property or the house next door, behind, what have you, because, people can travel.
Stephanie has been at Dawn's house twice. The last time was a Super Bowl party. While Stephanie ate her mini-layered dip and drank her White Claw, she felt someone standing, watching, just over her shoulder.
There is somebody there to me that is more of a caretaker.
Dawn herself feels not alone at her house and has had several strange things occur. So she's invited Stephanie to do a casual investigation and see if she can get some answers.
I don't know, I just never feel comfortable in my bedroom, and I'd like to feel like my bedroom is my bedroom, so part of me is maybe it's time to help this person.
Yeah. Maybe they need to cross over, that kind of stuff.
I think I'm fine with boundaries.
Yeah.
I think I just have to struggle to figure out what is that boundary, trying to figure out what this thing is and what the intentions are. But again, never felt negative.
Yep.
Never
Nothing.
once.
Yeah.
Never scared.
I get to tag along on this little adventure, carrying my recording device that I barely know how to use. Dawn lives here with her husband, Chad, who is supportive and also not interested in this.
If you ask him if he believes in ghosts and the paranormal, he says no. But
he's from Hawaii, though.
But they always talk about this haunted house they had to stay in, and he's got a Hawaiian suspicion of everything. Let's not chance it. Yeah, he never wants to talk about. There would be things that would happen when we first moved in, where I'm like, "You see that, right?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Do you want to talk about it?" He's like, "Nope."
Yep.
It's like, all right.
Investigation day has arrived. I'm hopping in the car. Walking up to Dawn's, I pull out my recorder and knock on the door. But quickly discover that this unseasonable wind is not amenable to recording. Stephanie arrives shortly after me, and the two of them immediately launch into the terror of childhood dolls.
I watched Talking Tina when I was in third grade at a slumber party, and it scared me so bad. I was already terrified.
Are you talking Tina from the Twilight Zone?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one and the dummy, the ventriloquist dummy that comes alive. Those are the two I will not watch.
Yes, I was convinced that mannequins came alive at night, and
for sure.
Oh
I
yeah,
got
the
a
wax
book.
museum one where they were and yet you have one in your
I bought one to get
Right.
over the fear, but it still scares me sometimes when I forget she's there. But she's never moved or made a move on me.
Yeah. Have you met her yet? The mannequin?
No, I haven't. But one of my favorite
upstairs.
movies is Mannequin.
Anyway, so my aunt made me this. Very sweet. She made me and my sister Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy. I had Raggedy Ann. But I hated Raggedy Ann. But it was a super cute doll, but I was terrified of it. And so I would never sleep with it. And then after I was talking to Tina, I got this thing in my head that she knew that I didn't like her. So I was like, I need to start mixing her up in bed situations so she won't catch on, So I would sleep with her right next to me, and then Snoopy, and then Woodstock. And I would just lay there in terror, just watching her triangle nose and eyes.
She's
Just being as soon as I close my eyes, she's going to roll over. And so then I would put Snoopy as my protector in between me and her. But then I'd be like, but she knows, And then what about Woodstock? She's so tiny. Okay, Woodstock, Snoopy, the doll. And I finally just one day I freaked out and I was just like, hey, Raggedy Ann, let's go play. And then I just grabbed her and I tied her all up and I wrapped her in all these towels and I put her in a drawer and I got the dining room chair and I put it in front of the chair. And my mom came in and she's like, what what are we doing here? You know, and I was like, I don't want to talk about it. I had to go to bed too early.
But when you're a kid, those are the
Yeah.
things that you rationalize to yourself.
Yeah.
Like every night, my mom had to look under the bed and in the closet and tell me there was nothing there.
Yep.
And then for a while, they had to put a light in the closet and we had to sleep with the closet door open.
Oh my God. Okay, closets. I'm the same way. Like, I had to have closet doors open because I was like, I don't need nobody like sneaking up on me while I'm sleeping. But then I became this thing where I had to have closets closed.
Yep.
And to this day, like that half open closet is driving me bananas. Like, and the one in our bedroom, which is where I had the feels about, I will not go in there if that closet door isn't closed. Like it doesn't close all the way back.
These two ladies have had active imaginations. We've now settled onto the living room couch and are refocusing on the task at hand. Dawn and I want to make sure that Stephanie is comfortable.
Again, like, just to be clear, like, there's no pressure on this.
Oh, yeah, no, I know.
If you don't feel anything or whatever.
Yeah, and there's
cool.
times where I've been places with the person who leads our group. She's also a medium, and her and I do tons of stuff together. Like, we go to estate sales, we go to all sorts of stuff together. And sometimes she'll pick up on something, and my mind is absolutely like a big black box. Like, I don't see nothing here. I don't feel nothing here. And times where I'll pick up on something, and she's like, this place seems totally normal to me. So it's just really, it's really down to the person.
And we also want to confirm we're not going to accidentally summon a demon.
I don't want to conjure anything up here. I don't want to call anything forward. I don't want to do anything like that.
So,
because this is her home and she's our friend, and I'm not doing that. And even when we have done private homes and investigations, we try not to do that to people. But I've been on investigations where people have tried to like call things forward or conjure things forward, and our like host or our leader is like, GTFO, like, you need to knock that shit off and get out of here. Like, we don't play those games here.
Yeah.
So
I don't feel like fucking finding out.
I'm not knowledgeable enough to banish anything or anything like that. Like, moving somebody on, I think a lot of people can actually do that. It's just more intention, like, trying to get them to understand where they are and move forward. But like, as far as, if there's like negative stuff and trying to banish it, that's not my skill set. So I'm not going to do that here.
I think that sounds like a great plan.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Dawn's house is 4 levels. We've been sitting on the couch in her cozy living room, windows open, wind howling, birds chirping. It's one of those days where it's rainy and sunny, like a rainbow kind of day.
So,
And I should say we are in the daytime and we are sober. So we're like being very responsible right now.
but also too, like, spirits and stuff, they don't care what time of day it is. And
But all the shows are at nighttime in the dark.
yes, because here's the reason.
Stephanie is going to drop some knowledge about why all those ghost hunting shows happen in the dark.
I don't necessarily like think there's a perfect time of day for stuff. I think when you see shows and they do stuff at night, it's less noisy.
Yeah.
There's no people there. There's no traffic. It's quieter. So generally you can hear stuff better. You don't get noise pollution. You don't get light pollution.
Right, that makes sense.
And especially if you're doing like historical places during the day, they're open for tours. At night, they're not. So
So there's like just logical.
there's logical
logistical
reasons. Yeah. But also too, there's a lot of people that believe like the veil is thinner at night. I don't agree with that. I think if you are already tuned into that and that's something that your intuition or whatever is guiding you towards that, it doesn't matter what time of day it is.
I mean, all I really wanted you to do, if you want to do it, is like, we can even go outside if you want, and you can just go around the house. I mean, you probably want to record it, but if it works better for you to be alone or whatever,
No.
I just try to see what you feel here.
And for me, it's not something where I can like snap my fingers and here it is. I have to really like work to tune in and stuff like that. And to be honest with you guys, I haven't been very good at for me, when I do the investigations and I'm working with my team, I was taking all these mediumship classes. I was very, very immersed in meditations, like trying to like really hone in on that stuff. And I haven't been doing that a really long time. Okay. So I'm a little rusty, might be the right word.
That's Stephanie's disclaimer. She's not at peak mediumness. But already, just here in the living room, Stephanie has the feels.
This space feels fine. Do I feel that there's something here? 100%. Do I feel that there's something here right now? 100%. But it's not anything or anyone that is mean or evil or malicious or anything. It's more just like a watchful, protective presence. Yeah. And nothing like protective of like, you need to leave things alone. It's more just like almost like a caretaker presence.
Yeah.
Like you guys are the stewards of this home. And I think whatever's here is appreciative of that.
Yeah.
Last time I was here, I couldn't tell if it was the previous owner or maybe the person before that. Mm-hmm. And also too, like, again, like one of the times I was here, I'm like, well, could it be somebody that is attached to the land or somewhere close by?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't want to say anything. I mean, I've already told you some of my impressions of the house, but I don't want to say anything about what I think yet. If you want, like, I'm most curious to see if you go in our bedroom and in the closet.
And Chad never has anything?
No, I have had stuff happen in there when he's out of town. Those mostly in the beginning. But again, I don't want to say a lot about like what I've felt and stuff, but that for me is the one place in the house that I'm the most curious about.
Dawn is most curious about her bedroom, but immediately after pledging not to, she breaks protocol and shares with Stephanie that someone has died in this house.
Did you research to confirm that somebody really did in fact pass away here?
Oh, no, yeah. We bought the house from his family.
Oh, okay.
And even like we're interested in the house. I found his obituary because I wanted to know like what the person was like that lived here. And we tried to be like super duper respectful. Yeah. But I'm already telling too many things. So yeah.
I feel like two different males here. One I don't think is here all the time. One I think just kind of floats in and out. But I was just sitting here chatting with you. I'm also getting a woman here too. More like she's dressed in almost like kind of as like 1950s, 1960s, and very much like the hairstyle of that period.
You're so spot on with what I feel so far. That's why I'm like, maybe I should go outside and you guys should walk around.
But I can't tell if her relationship to, I think she's potentially tied to one of the males here, but not the other one.
Oh.
So I think there's two different things going on here. Like I said, I just have to spend more time.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to like walk around?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, just like take a stroll around the house.
All right, yeah, I'll go wander around the house. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
So I'm taking my shoes off. Is that okay?
No, yeah.
Oh, and I have Golden Girl socks on.
Your socks will get dirty though because we're terrible.
That's okay.
Okay, we're done setting up expectations and getting Stephanie's feelings in the living room. So we continue our investigation by going downstairs, a seemingly more creepy area of the house.
Yeah. This is the garage, laundry, and bathroom area.
It's very well lit. It does not feel like a basement to me.
Have you guys seen this? The way the house is constructed is a little weird.
She's opening a little door in the basement.
And there's like a sump there.
Oh, right. Does it flood in the rains here?
Yeah.
We poke around for a little bit.
I like how organized Chad's tools are.
I like how organized this whole place is.
I know, our garage looks like a bunch of hoarders live in our house. And I didn't bring any stuff with me either. For me, I really just like, it's all about a voice recorder and camera.
And then we're supposed to say,
right? Sorry.
We're being loud, so.
We are. We can't help it.
Okay, go on up.
Then make our way back up 2 stairs.
So this is technically the second floor, and we're going to
the because it's a tri-level.
And then there's a 4th floor.
There's like secret stairs everywhere.
So this is my closet room.
Bedroom number 1, Dawn calls her closet room, and that's what it is. On the right are vintage clothes hung up and suitcases and a mannequin. On the left is a little seating area with a mirror and pin-up style prints. And there's a small closet filled with shoes and socks in labeled bins.
Reading your labels on your thing. Rad socks.
I know my best friend was like, "Are they really rad?" I was like, "Yes, they are. They're from back in the day when
They're so rad. They get a label that says rad socks on it.
Special stockings.
Is that the mannequin?
Mhm. She's very pouty and salty.
She seems harmless.
We make our way into bedroom number 2, a proper bedroom with a bed covered in a yellow bedspread with birds. Dawn cracks open the little closet.
If you need to look in closets, I don't know if you do.
No, I'm still scared of closets.
Yeah.
I will say though, in a non-ghost way, your closets are big.
Yeah.
In a non-ghost way.
Yeah.
For an older house,
Yes.
they're
Yeah.
quite big. Yes.
Except for the one that Chad uses, unfortunately for him. I get a whole room and he gets a tiny closet.
Honestly, it's a lovely room. The dresser is covered with beautiful framed wedding photos of Chad and Dawn's parents and grandparents. So we don't spend a whole lot of time in here. Pretty quickly heading up to the 4th floor, Chad's room.
We've got a attic space here.
Dawn, you hella cleaned your house before we got here.
No,
Really?
Chad vacuumed in here because he's. But can I show you guys this? Check it out how Chad's drawer would.
Oh my God.
He did the Marie Kondo folding. That's how my shirts are all
know
folded.
who Marie Kondo is.
Oh.
This is just who he is.
This is the most shocking thing that we've seen thus far. Chad's t-shirts are carefully folded in the drawer, at least 20 of them, perfectly fitted.
Yeah.
You do
Yeah.
your shirts like that
Yeah.
too?
Mine was the Marie Kondo thing because it saves a tremendous amount of space, and I have so
Yeah.
many band T-shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That was a lot of shirts in that.
yeah. Well, these are huge. This is like a bachelor's dresser, and it's big.
And then this is his closet. And there's another attic in there.
His closet is equally organized. It's impressive.
Adidas, Tom's, Tiger,
Oh,
their shoes.
Oh,
He's labeled his shoes. He should have a series on organization.
yeah. you should. That's impressive.
I think he has a label on his label machine.
So that's the whole house.
Your house is quiet.
Yeah. A beautiful day and the house feels good and like
Yeah. We just had that rain. Like everything
Yeah.
seems fresh.
Dawn and I go outside to give Stephanie some alone time, and then Dawn pulls out the original plans for her house in 1939.
look at the design of the windows and the doors with dripping moon. Like I totally want to have that.
Oh, it had shutters.
Yes, and the house would look so much better with shutters. So I want to have these custom
The crescents
made.
on there. Yeah. Was that the crescent on the front door?
Yeah, it was on the front door. And then it was even like on the garage, it looks like. But I'm afraid people will think it's like an outhouse symbol.
These are so cool.
This is really neat. Yeah.
I know, I love it.
And so this has just been passed down from owner to
Yeah, we found it in the garage after we like moved in. We're only I think we're the third owners. I didn't find any records of a fourth.
Because you can go to the historical society of Alameda, which is I think off Park Boulevard, and pull all of the history stuff like that.
Yeah, my sister's a genealogy freak, so she belongs to all those newspapers and stuff.
Newspaper.com, I love
And
that.
she found an article that has a picture of our house being built and the neighbor's house like 90% done. And the article is about how they're using power tools for the first time ever. And how fast it is to like saw wood and stuff using power tools.
I missed it. What are those dated, or are they?
1939, I think, and then the house was completed in 1940.
We settle back on the couch. Dawn is eager to hear what Stephanie thinks.
All right, I want to hear like your impressions.
So today, I'm not feeling any male presence. I'm very much feeling a woman here today. And she is like, I don't know how to explain this. Like she's very much looks like she's from the 60s, maybe 70s era.
Mhm.
And I think she's attached to probably the owners before you guys, potentially. But she keeps like almost like it's walking back and forth between the room with the yellow and your dressing room.
So which room do you think has had the most things happen in it, or which rooms?
I think your dressing room and I think the yellow room. But the yellow room to me just seems like a area of, it seems heavy in there to me.
Mm.
Like the person, it seems like they're in mourning. Like I feel the person going back and forth. And maybe that's just today. That's what I'm getting. But for the most part, I don't think that there's anything like that doesn't feel heavy here or anything like that. I just could feel like this woman kind of wandering back and forth and almost like she's in mourning about something. And maybe it's because we were talking about the person passed away.
Yeah.
The last owner was a single man who passed away in 2011. So it seems like the woman would have been the first owner.
Yeah.
And then I believe that the couple that built the house lived here till
Yeah,
then.
then that's who that's attached
And
to.
so for me, when we moved in, at first, all I thought about was the previous owner who passed away.
Yeah.
And the other couple could have passed away here too. I don't know. I don't have
Yeah.
that information. But my neighbor has told me a lot about, or what he knows. Like the man was an actual brick mason. Like, and that's why like the backyard is. They built that patio in like 1950 because it's like signed.
Mhm.
And then we found some stuff like a rock that had love painted on it that someone buried in the ground in the flower bed. But he didn't know much about them. But he was like, yeah, he was just very like linear and like, you know, like it makes sense that the backyard looks the way it does.
Yeah.
Like it's all straight and angles and, you know, like blah, blah, blah. Anyways, when we first moved in, I never felt comfortable in our bedroom. Like I always felt like somebody was coming in there with us.
We went back up to the third floor where the bedroom and closet room are. Stephanie feels drawn back into the closet room, where Dawn shares something new.
It's funny because when I first came in this room, I felt like this room had the most energy and activity.
Yeah.
But because I already knew that someone had passed away in that room, I was, I'm going to focus on that room. That room seems heavy because someone passed away here, which it does. But I keep getting drawn back into this room.
I know. Okay, so I had my wedding shoes, those guys.
Oh, they're beautiful.
They're just cheap. Like,
They're
got
cute,
them at the
though.
last minute.
Yeah.
In a box. In a closet. Right here. Right?
Dawn is pointing up at a box inside the closet on the left-hand shelf.
So let's say there was an earthquake that caused the box to come down and pop open. Like, where would the shoes go? Like, probably right here, right? So I came into the room and I was like, doo-doo-doo. And I saw one shoe right here and one way over there.
She's pointing in the middle of the room and at the far end of the room, not at all near where a shoebox inside the closet might fall naturally.
And in my head, and this is how whatever I have works for me, I just hear statements. There's no emotion. And it's in my own head voice.
It's called your mind's eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just walked in and I was like, oh, she wants me to know that she doesn't think that I am a good wife. Like, she doesn't approve of the type of wife I am because I don't cook for my husband. I hate cleaning. I don't do his laundry. He takes care of himself completely. I'm a total slob, like, and her symbol for that is like, how could you wear like red shoes at your wedding? Like, that's disgusting, like, but I feel like over time, she and I have worked it out. But like sometimes, like one time I was sitting here and I used to have like stuff all across here.
She was sitting at her little makeup table in front of a mirror when a hanger from the closet,
putting on my makeup, and all of a sudden, like this freaking hanger comes flying out of me. And I just started laughing because I was like, man, you really have to pick your moments, because if I wasn't in here and that hanger was on the floor, I would never have known you did that.
No,
like I would just be like,
no.
oh, that was just a hanger I
Were
threw
you
on the
putting
floor.
on like red lipstick or anything like that when you were doing your makeup?
No, I think it was more just like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
That time, that's all it felt like, and like that's what I was laughing.
She seems very, because the person I keep picking up on is definitely somebody from the 50s, 60s era.
Yeah,
But she seems very like of that time period.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. I just
Yeah.
felt like she was
Like,
someone who was very much of like she was probably, I'm gonna guess, in her 30s in 1940. Maybe,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
To put this in context, Dawn shared something disturbing about the deed to her house.
I mean, when we signed the paperwork for this house, I freaked out. I was like, I'm not signing this, because the very, very end was this codicil about no people of color can live here unless they're a servant. And I was like, I'm not signing this, you know, like, and
Wait,
my-
that was on your current?
it's been there for 100 years on the this
deed,
plot,
for the deed,
on the
probably.
deed, yeah. And I was like, no, I'm not signing this till they change it. And my realtor's like, that could take years. Like, just acknowledge that you're not okay with that, but please just sign this, because I already wrote the checks for the commission, you know, like, but I really signed it under duress. Like, anyway, point being, that was kind of the mentality. Obviously,
Yes.
people that were living here
Right,
at the
she
time.
signed
Yes.
that original. Well,
Yeah.
she probably didn't. Her husband probably signed
Yeah.
that original deed.
So it also felt like, you know, the combination of us was probably like kind of a shock.
Yeah.
I still think she doesn't agree with me and my style, but I do feel like they've just made their peace with us for the most part. But I hope she's not stuck here not knowing where her husband is. That would be
No,
terrible.
I don't pick up that at all, because I am also picking up the other 2 times I was here. I was definitely picking up a male figure. Like I said, I wasn't sure if it was previous owner or the original owners, but the woman that I keep picking up on, the time period I'm picking up is the 50s and the 60s era,
Yeah.
which would put her at about 50 years old.
Yeah.
And that's exactly who I can see in
Yeah.
my sort of their little beehive hair that's
I
slightly
wish I
gray.
could see
and
them.
is
Like,
wearing
I can't
like a 60s
visualize them
sheet.
at all. Yeah.
Mr. Grim Reaper. He offered him the exit too sweet.
Sometimes I'm way off base with what I'm feeling, and I always tell people, like, am I off base? And sometimes people will go, yeah, you are way off base. And I'm like, well, then I'm picking up something from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I have no way to prove that you're
Yeah.
on base, except that you described everything exactly
yeah.
as I sensed it over the years in my head.
Yeah. And also, too, like, I don't know if the woman presence is more today because we're all women in the house
Yeah.
right now. It could very well be that.
Is this a woman mourning her husband? Has she been walking this house for 40 years? Is she a racist with 1940s views on multiracial marriage? Is she uptight about Dawn's approach to wifing? After this investigation, Dawn's sister did some research and found the couple who moved into this house on Fernside when they were in their early 20s. He was an Air Force officer, and she, Georgianne, was described as to-be Army man's bride in an engagement announcement, though she was also a dancer. They had 2 daughters. That led Dawn to wonder if maybe that's why Stephanie feels her walking between the 2 bedrooms, still in the habit of checking on her little girls. As we start to wrap up and go our separate ways, in classic Dawn fashion, she has a final question, and it's a big one. With all that she's experienced, does Stephanie have a fear of dying?
So do you have a fear of dying, girl?
Yes and no. I feel like I have a fear of dying in a very tragic, like horrible death that I will feel. But
Yeah.
I think like the accepting death, that it's inevitable, it's going to happen. I'm okay with that. Like I'm terrified of dying, either drowning or a horrible, like my head being decapitated in some way.
Yeah. When I was a kid, the religious aspect of it made me 1,000 times more terrified of dying. And every time I thought something bad was happening, I would just be like, dear God, please don't send me to hell. Like, I didn't care about heaven. I was just, please don't send me to hell. I know I haven't been perfect, blah, blah, blah. And I would have dreams about what hell was for me. Like, I was like, I know what's going to happen when I get there, you know. I told my mom and dad about that a few years ago, and they're like, why didn't you tell us you were going through that? And I was like, I thought everybody experienced that because of religion, you know,
Right.
like I had such an intense fear of dying. Like, and then I remember after the haunting at my house and like many years later, I remember I was on this airplane and there was crazy turbulence and all my friends were like in a different part of the plane. And I remember thinking, what if like the plane exploded right now and a fireball was coming right at me? How would I feel? And I was like, you know what? I lived a good life. It was really fun. You know, like I'm happy. Like it's okay. And like after that moment, like of course, same as you, I don't want to be tortured or experience like drowning or burning to death or something like that. But like, I don't have any fear that there's something on the other side that's beautiful, you know, like, and it's funny because you would think religion would have given me that, but it gave me like the opposite of that. And it wasn't until I like explored all these other possibilities for myself, I think that I finally got there, you know?
Yeah.
How do you feel about dying?
Totally the same. Like, I'm fine with leaving the earth.
Yeah.
I'm fine with whatever's after that. I think it's going to be beautiful or it will be nothing.
Yeah.
I don't think it will be bad.
I can't imagine. Life would seem so pointless if it was nothing. I don't know why. That's just how it feels to me.
I'm going to come back and haunt the people I don't like.
Yeah, you're going to. Yeah.
And I'll haunt their families' families and their families' families.
Oh my gosh, and Ryan would have to
Oh,
get
we
on your
haven't
crap
talked
list.
about near-death experiences because I'm like obsessed with those.
Yes.
I love those stories.
They're amazing. Have you been on that site that has the thousands of them?
No.
From all over the world?
What is it?
He was a doctor who was freaked out by having heard multiple.
Well, and I know there's a
Stories.
doctor that he had, or maybe it was a she, had a near-death experience.
This one never had. So he's like 100%
Okay,
skeptic.
he's just a...
Doesn't believe in anything. But he started having these people describe, like, I heard you say this to them. And he was like, how do you know that I said that? You know, like, they were like, yeah, you were talking about like the football game or something, you know, like, and then he just started
Like the person that was dead said what he was saying?
the person who passed away and then they revived them
Right.
told him what they were
Right.
saying, like during the operating
Right.
thing, but also after they were dead. Like,
Right.
I could see you, you were
Right.
saying this, you
Yeah,
were doing
yeah,
that,
yeah,
blah,
yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah. So he was like, I want to scientifically
Right.
investigate this. So everybody gets the same questionnaire, no matter where they are in the world. So there's thousands.
Yeah. So it's fascinating.
And it's fascinating, like, because like it's from all different like religions,
right.
like, so like people that are Muslim like have a different encounter, but there's like this thread that ties everything together. And
Right. I mean, that's
like,
the thing that trips me out is
Yeah.
that like there's so many commonalities in
Yeah.
the stories.
yeah, exactly.
The thread across stories is love. The website is nderf.org, Near Death Experience Research Foundation. Leaving Dawn's house, I was on a bit of a high. The mysteries of the universe can do that to us, can't they? Or they can terrify us. But since no lights flickered and nothing came flying off shelves, we got to just stay curious. Plus, we didn't open any portals to the netherworld. So all in all, a successful investigation. If you're not too weirded out already, tune in next time for one more paranormal party.